It's Randy Orton. Oh.
I have voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
Hey guys, what is up? Mr. Bigelow here, and today coming back at you with, I believe, episode 5 of WWE Missed Opportunities. This basically, if you don't know what the series is, basically what I do is I choose a wrestler from the past, from the WWE, and I talk about how they were a missed opportunity in WWE and a bit of insight as to maybe why and what happened, basically. So today's episode is going to be on Bam Bam Bigelow. So Bam Bam Bigelow came into the WWF in 1987, and I would say Bigelow was definitely one of the most talented big men. I think there's an argument saying he's one of the greatest big men of all time. The guy was very talented in the ring. He was it was very, I guess at that time it was also very unique and different to see an athletic big man. There weren't very many around at that time period. So, I think that's kind of what made Bigelow stand out. He came in as a babyface, which I think was involved in the first Survivor Series pay-per-view main event. He was actually the last man on Hogan's team. And, I think with Bam Bam Bigelow, I think one aspect in his first WWF run I would have liked to have seen him as a monster heel. I think that really would have been good. I think you could have got some really good matches out of that against people like Hogan and stuff. I think instead of maybe having big Hogan against big men like Bundy and people like that, I think maybe a Hogan Bigelow feud could have been really good. I think, Hogan was obviously the top guy at the time, and I think matches between him and Bigelow would have been great. I think they would have been really good, and I think definitely he was definitely one of the better options, and but they kept him babyface and they kept him as an ally with Hogan. And I mean, this is kind of me just speculating. I'm not saying that this is true, but one reason I think maybe they kept him as a face and not as a heel and as a contender for the title and in that main event position is because he was a big man who could do quite a lot of athletic moves. He could do a moonsault off the top rope, that sort of thing. So I think if they put him into a feud with Hogan, I think the WWF and Hogan may have been worried that Bigelow would have got over, and Hogan would have got, booed, and that, he would, because Bigelow was such a great athlete, was such a big guy, he would kind of outshine Hogan in the ring. So that's kind of why I think they didn't really go for it. They kind of instead kept him at that mid-card, kept him as a babyface, kept him as, Hogan's friend, that sort of thing. But I still really think a Hogan versus Bigelow feud and a heel Bigelow could have really worked in that main event position, and I think he could have really got over as a monster heel. But then he came back to the WWF in 1992, and he was a heel. He did finally become a heel, in 1993 actually he had a really good series of matches with Bret Hart, and I think you could have put the belt on Bigelow. But as well in '93, I mean, I know obviously they went for Yokozuna, but I still think Bigelow would have been a good heel to put the belt on. But he had, as I said before, he had some really awesome matches with Bret Hart, for example, at King of the Ring '93. But yeah, Bigelow's second run was really disappointing in my opinion. He didn't really do much, for example, but I think I'd say the highlight of the second run was the matches with Bret. They were great. But by '94, he was in a feud with Doink, getting embarrassed, and it was just really awful. I mean, having said that though, to Bigelow, there must have been some faith in him because they put him in the ring with Lawrence Taylor, an ex-American football player, in the main event of WrestleMania. So it must have been good for Bigelow, getting a WrestleMania payday in the main event with a celebrity. So I think there was some element of trust in there, but I don't think they saw Bigelow as a guy who could, you know, help draw money, which I think was a real shame because I don't think they ever really gave him the chance. But I think it really could have worked. I think also, you know, if Brett, I still think that Bigelow could have been a, you know, contender for the world title. You know, he could have had matches with Brett, I think, as well. I think revisiting Brett and Bigelow would have been great at certain points. But I just think it's unfortunate for Bigelow. He was never really, you know, he wasn't looked to be on a certain level, which is a real shame because I think he really could have had a great monster heel run. But yeah, I just think he really could have gone places because of, you know, he had the tools to get over. Like, he had the big man look and physique. He could, you know, go in the ring. He could work. He's had some really good matches over the career. I think that's kind of what makes him a great, you know, one of the better big men is he could work a match. You know, there was stuff about Bigelow I think really worked. But obviously WWE didn't really see much in him, which I think is a real shame, in my opinion. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit shorter than some of the other ones, but still hope you enjoyed. And please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys.